Usually, in this explainer, we dive into complex topics with a ton of forward momentum, right? But today, well, I want to invite you to do something a little different with me. I want you to just settle in, take a breath. We're going to shift into a space of quiet observation. Today, we're looking at a really fascinating piece from the Reflective Humanism Project, specifically document number 92. Now, just to be clear right up front, this isn't a psychology lesson, and honestly, the goal here isn't even to hand you a definitive answer. Instead, we're going to observe a deeply modern phenomenon, the structure of cognitive anxiety. We're going to look at what happens when simply remaining open becomes incredibly difficult to sustain. Let's explore why we feel the way we do when we're faced with the unknown.
Why do we feel the need to reach answers so quickly? Just let yourself feel the weight of that inquiry for a second. Think about it. In our daily lives, whenever a gap in our knowledge pops up, there's this almost physical pull to fill it immediately. We rarely stop to ask ourselves why that pull is so incredibly urgent. What is it about that space, the space between a question and its answer, that we find so intolerable?
Well, notice how our modern environment is framed around one repeated concept. Everything is instant. Modern life is literally engineered around instant search, instant explanation, instant evaluation, and instant reaction. We are completely surrounded by technologies and systems designed to totally eliminate the waiting period. And because of this, we're becoming way more accustomed to closure than we are to waiting. It's like we've been conditioned. When every single device in your pocket is built to offer a rapid-fire resolution, the natural rhythm of just holding on to a question, it starts to feel broken or even agonizing. So, the absolutely crucial point here is that this discomfort you're feeling, it's entirely real and it's completely valid. Uncertainty is genuinely uncomfortable. Questions are inherently unstable. From a cognitive perspective, leaving a loop open, holding on to a state of not knowing, it consumes actual, literal cognitive energy. It's exhausting to not know. Your brain is expending resources trying to bridge a gap. So naturally, from a biological and psychological standpoint, we seek answers just to stop that energy drain. We just want relief.
But this brings us to a really vital distinction: seeking answers versus rushing toward answers. Now, on the surface, they might look like the exact same behavior, but mechanically, they are entirely different. Seeking an answer is an authentic pursuit. It's you opening yourself up to the environment to gather meaning. Rushing toward an answer, on the other hand, well, that's an escape. It's a flight away from the discomfort of uncertainty. When we rush, the goal isn't really the truth. The goal is simply the termination of the question.
Traditionally, the arc of learning and cognitive renewal followed a very specific, deliberate path. It starts with step 1, discomfort. That initial friction of not knowing. But then comes step 2, suspension. This is that critical moment where you hold the discomfort without immediately resolving it. And that suspension, that's the necessary bridge to step 3, exploration. You wander, you gather. Then step 4, re-observation, where you look at the world with new data. And finally, step 5, true understanding. This is the natural, spiral-like generation of meaning. It takes time, and it absolutely requires a tolerance for the unresolved.
But in our high-speed environment, that beautiful, drawn-out process is brutally short-circuited. We feel step 1, discomfort, and immediately we demand step 2, immediate explanation, which instantly forces step 3, conclusion. Just look at what gets lost here. The suspension, the exploration, the careful re-observation, they are completely bypassed. What emerges from this shortened loop isn't always understanding. Actually, most of the time, it's simply closure. We're using these quick answers as cognitive tranquilizers to soothe the anxiety of the unknown, and we're sacrificing deep comprehension just for immediate relief.
All of this points to a really profound observation from the document. The problem is not incorrect answers. The problem may be the disappearance of questions that did not need to be closed yet. When we prioritize a closed state over open exploration, our world shrinks. Yes, we live in an era where information multiplies, explanations multiply, and data is literally everywhere. Yet, ironically, true exploration decreases. The space for questions to breathe, to linger, and to gently guide us to a higher understanding, it's disappearing. We're losing the blank spaces on the map simply because we're too anxious to leave them blank. So I want to leave you with this final thought to take with you today. The next time you feel that sudden, urgent need to find an answer right this very second, just ask yourself, what are we truly seeking? Is it the perfectly correct answer, or is it simply the reassurance, the safety that allows us to remain with uncertainty just a little longer?